Bring on the LSU schedule.
LSU. First, let me get the correct sponsor up. I did have the correct one last segment. We just got to make sure that Bowie gets on there for what they need to. Let's get the LSU schedule up here.
Boom.
Dates are still slightly off. That's supposed to be the 12th instead of the 11th. And it's actually supposed to be the 5th instead of the 6th. But the teams are correct. Locations are correct. I made sure of that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, how did you do that? It's actually supposed to be the 5th. Yes, because Ole Miss.
I did Ole Miss before I did LSU.
Because Ole Miss is playing on Sunday, not LSU. I got you. Right on.
Yeah, so
boy, this gets juicy in game 1 for LSU, man. This is good.
It does. LSU, obviously, new head coach, at least new to them head coach, Lane Kiffin coming in. You also brought in Sam Leavitt. You know, all Tennessee fans know about the
holy schedule.
The way that they were able to get Sam Leavitt.
This is disgusting. Sorry, I'm just in awe. I mean, look at you play Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M first month.
All in September.
Let's skirt to November.
I was going to say fairly decent October, but then, yeah, November.
Alabama, Texas, at Tennessee. And I'm not even going to – I wouldn't throw it in there normally, but it's just after those 3 games, you got to go on the road to Arkansas.
I'm not worried about that game.
I'm not worried about it either, but I'm just saying it's on the road in the SEC, and you probably just lost 2 or 3 games that you probably weren't supposed to. I don't know. Maybe you were supposed to. This is disgusting. All right, LSU. How you feeling?
All right, starting off against Clemson. This game is at home.
The real Death Valley.
I've got to win against Clemson here. This comes down to who do I trust more, Lane Kiffin or Dabo? If it was 10 years ago, Dabo. Right now, I trust Lane Kiffin a little bit more.
You can't trust Lane Kiffin, period. That man will leave you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere this year. He just got on campus. He's going to coach at least 1 year. But no, I got to win against Clemson to start off the season. Louisiana Tech in week 2, I've also got to win. Then, as mentioned on the Ole Miss one, I do have a loss to Ole Miss. I just think that Ole Miss is going to be up for this game more than LSU is going to. This game means so much more for Ole Miss than it does for LSU going into it. So I've got a loss there for LSU. Texas A&M. I'm very high on Texas A&M this year, even if this game is at home for LSU. Give Texas A&M the win here, starting off the season 2-2. Not exactly what Lane Kiffin and company were looking for, but I do have them starting off that way. McNeese, you get a good bounce back here before you bounce back against Kentucky at home, on the road. You get a win against Mississippi State as well. You're looking good in October. Let me double check my Auburn one here. I do also have a win for LSU against Auburn. So after starting off 2-2, a 4-0 October month to go 6-2 entering November. Then, as you mentioned, you get to that November schedule.
And you've already got 2 losses, Lane Kiffin. How you gonna finish the season in this hypothetical here?
Yeah, so Alabama.
They do have them at home. Both of them, actually. Alabama and Texas. At home.
You know what? I've got them pulling one off against Alabama here. I've got them winning that game. Texas at home. I don't have them winning this one. I've got Texas winning. At Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, me being a Tennessee fan, I'm putting those orange glasses on. I've got Tennessee winning this game, right? Do I? Here's what I've got to say about this game here.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the schedule is going to tell a lot about both of these teams. The game is in Knoxville. Here's what I do know about Tennessee. Tennessee is going to have a good offense. They're going to have decent quarterback play at worst. The defense is going to be improved. How much improved? I don't know. The defense is going to be improved. Here's what I don't know about LSU. How is Sam Leavitt going to do carrying this team this year?
Will he even still be a starter?
True.
He's got a decent offensive line, but Can he? He's not played a healthy season since his Arizona State?
Since the year that they went to the playoffs
with Cam Scatteraboo.
Scatteraboo led the team.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Sam Leavitt has not had to lead a team yet. He was going to have to last year at Arizona State, but you mentioned it. He got hurt midway through the year, out the rest of the season. We weren't able to see what he could do finishing off.
Yep.
He was getting hot midway through the year, but how was he going to finish it? Sam Leavitt could come out there and he could be a Heisman contender this year. Or he could fall flat on his face. I'm kind of going in the middle here. I think he's going to have a decent season. But I think that this road environment here is going to be probably the second most hostile environment that he's been to this season, just because Ole Miss is going to be absolutely rough.
It's crazy they got to go on the road to both of those teams in the same year.
This is confirmed to be a night game.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Tennessee wins this game.
That's crazy. That a boy.
But then Arkansas to finish the season, they do get a win in that game. So I also have LSU going 8-4 this season.
8-4 ain't gonna do it for them LSU fans, man. Ain't no way.
No, not
That's
happening.
A Brian Kelly. That is a Brian Kelly special right there. Oh man.
Worst case scenario for LSU. I'm also going to go the same as I did with Ole Miss. I think 6-6 is worst case here. I think you lose to Clemson, you lose to Alabama. I feel good about them against every other team. The big question mark to me is that Auburn game. That could go either way depending on how Auburn's season is going, how LSU season is going, but I still think they go 6-6 in this season. So if you lose to Auburn, maybe you win either Clemson or Alabama, something like that. The ceiling for this team, though, is 11-1. I think you lose one game because
okay.
Let me explain my reasoning behind this. All right, so Ole Miss and Tennessee are both on the road, but would you agree with me that they are much easier opponents than Texas and Texas A&M as of this point?
No, I agree 100%. I think Ole Miss and Tennessee are the winnable games that are on the road. But I look at and say if they're beating both of those teams, I don't see them. I don't see them beating every other team. Like I just don't see them beating A&M, Texas, or Alabama, or yeah.
I don't disagree, but I
think
your
schedule, brother.
I think that the absolute ceiling for this team, you're going to lose a game. Yeah. I'm not predicting any team in the SEC to go undefeated this year. So you're going to lose a game. I think it's going to be to either Texas or Texas A&M. But I think that all the other games are on the table at that point. So that's why I've got my ceiling at 11-1 for LSU. But I do think that 8-4 is where they're going to be this season.
Right on. Oh boy, this is getting juicy. All right, I get the finale of the show. Let's do it. Just go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. All right, here we go. I agree with you. I think they're going to start out 2-0. I do think they'll get the win over Clemson. I don't want them to get the win over Clemson. I got to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't want them to win, and I don't want them to win any of these games that I'm about to pick. But I think they're just going to. As I stated in the previous Ole Miss prediction, I think Ole Miss is actually going to beat them. So they got a loss. I'm joking. I just went back and forth. You see what I did there? No, I think LSU is going to win here. I think Texas A&M at home is huge for LSU, and I think they pick up the win as well.
Ooh, yeah, they're starting hot.
I do. I'm telling you, this is going to start out the way Lane Kiffin wants it to start out. McNeese at Kentucky, Mississippi State, they are rolling, and they're going to have the hype train behind them. I think they go and win at Auburn, and I believe, as long as I'm looking at my stuff correct, I ain't lied a single time yet. So, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas is where it gets, let's see here, right? And I agree with you. I think they actually lose to Alabama. I think the 8-0, even though they got Alabama at home and Texas at home for that matter, I think it's a little bit too much. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I think they lose to Texas to follow that up. But this is Tennessee's worst nightmare. I think the spot that they're in, even though they're going on the road to a hostile environment. I think they beat us, man. I think they get it done on the road at Tennessee, and I think they get it done against Arkansas. I am so against this own prediction. I can't tell you how much I'm against it, but I do have LSU going 10-2 in their first year under Lane Kiffin. I think if they do anything less than 10-2, I think the folks at LSU are pissed. You don't pay for a head coach. You don't pay to fire a head coach and then pay the head coach the amount of money you paid on top of bringing in, basically giving him an open checkbook to bring in any player that he wants. And you don't settle for anything less than a playoff. And I think this is the type of caliber of a schedule that you've got to do pretty much what I'm predicting you to do to get to the playoff. You may could substitute the Alabama loss for maybe a Tennessee loss or an A&M loss. Ole Miss, you name it, but they got to go 10-2 this year. If not, I can't imagine what the folks in Baton Rouge are going to be doing. So, with that being said, I'm pretty high on LSU. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I don't want them to be 10-2. So, I think their worst case is 7-5. They could lose to Tennessee. They could lose to A&M and Ole Miss. I just don't see many other losses on the schedule. So 7-5 is the worst case. I think their best case is 10-2. This is once again another team that I am predicting them to do their best case, because you can substitute my losses for their wins in any manner you want. I just don't see them winning 11 games this year. Period. So give me LSU at 10-2, and I only have them losing the back-to-back games to start November. Alabama and Texas, and in a situation where LSU may be ranked in the top 5 when they lose those games. I mean, it could be absolute showdowns in those two games, but who knows? That's where I got LSU.
All right, so much higher on LSU than I thought.
I don't want to be,
but I agree with you that as far as the expectations, how can they not be at the very least 10-2?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got them definitely going below expectations this season.